This is Lovable, the AI app builder that turns ideas into reality.
Band-Aid gang. What's up, Damon? I see you, gang. When y'all get in here, please double tap the screen. Let's keep this video in the algorithms, gang. We back at them again, man. You know how we do it. We gonna step on them. We gonna step on them the right way. Band-Aid gang. Let's go. See, you can't stop the Most High, gang. You can't stop universal law. And that what goes around shall come around. Did I mention that? Let's go. It's your boy C-Dub, Mr. I ain't said a word, but I said damn with the real angel. And we beat you. Band-Aid gang. Oh, we got some people in big trouble tonight, gang. They in trouble tonight. Hey, I said, hey, we finally getting justice. Y'all get in here. Let's go. Oh, the ship is tumbling down. The ship is starting to crumble down, man. Let go. Pam Bondi, you got a report? Yeah, Donald Trump. Get over here. I told y'all the time was coming. I told y'all it was coming. Let's go, gang. Band-Aid gang, we winning again. We win again. We beat you again. Make sure y'all double tap the screen. Hit the notification bell. We about to go live. Y'all know what time it is. Stop playing with this channel. We run YouTube. This is the channel that run YouTube. Shouts out to the great Spill the Tea. Let go. Band-Aid gang, run it up, y'all. Let's run them likes up. Double tap the screen if y'all got in here. I told y'all we was gonna win, gang. Let go. We got the Band-Aid gang up in here. We got Damon Howard up in here, Band-Aid gang. Y'all know how we hold it down. We about to go down tonight. Put your city in the chat. Put your city in the chat. Let go. Donald Trump, it's over. We got 6 in the building. It's over, Donald Trump. We got you. We beat you. Band-Aid gang. And see, what they did was they didn't know we was on YouTube. Yeah, they didn't know that. Let's go. We got Cincinnati in the building, y'all. Sin City, man, what's up? We got them natty boys up in here. We got Cincinnati in the building. Put your city in the chat. Let's go. Band-Aid gang. Y'all get in here. We're about to get ready to get straight to the meat and potatoes. We got 10 in the building. Please double tap the screen. We ain't gonna hold no plates on y'all. We finna get straight to it, Band-Aid gang. They played with us and they thought they was gonna beat us, but we beat them.
I cannot start a YouTube channel. I don't have the money for cameras. I don't have money for editing software or equipment. I just can't.
So before we get ready to start this live, Band-Aid gang, as everybody know, Pam Bondi tried to finesse the game. She's doing her best to avoid, Band-Aid gang, going down and getting that deposition. So she did a fake meeting trying to, just think that they just can get it any way they want to. But you can't. So we about to show y'all right now how Pam Bondi tried to finesse the game. But them Democrats, they was on it. Them crats, they was on it. Band-Aid gang, double tap the screen. Let's go.
Some fired up members of the Democratic on the House Oversight Committee are speaking now after listening to Attorney General Bondi talking about the Epstein files. Let's listen in.
To our lawful subpoena in a deposition. So instead I asked Chairman Comer if he would compel her to come to our deposition. If she did not come, would he force her to, or if he would move for contempt hearings as he did for other people who did not respond to our subpoena? Instead of answering as an adult, he said that I was bitching, which is, again.
So why would Comer say she was bitching? See, Comer is with the cover-up. See, Comer is with the cover-up, Band-Aid gang. See, that's what he did. He was out of order. So as we get into the live Band-Aid gang, we're going to see their actions and their reactions. We got 13 in the building. Double tap the screen, y'all. Please double tap the screen. Let's keep our video on the algorithms. Let's go.
Something that would not be allowed if we were operating under the rules of this committee, because engaging in personalities is actually something that we are not able to do. If C-SPAN and the public were there, I'd imagine that he would not act that way. Neither here nor there, we expected AG Bondi to be adversarial. We expected her to be confrontational. And we expected her to not offer us much information. But that's why I introduced impeachment articles, because she has already been obstructing justice. She has already weaponized the DOJ. She has already ended investigations into Trump and his allies. She has used this role essentially as one to help the president. She does not answer to the president. The DOJ does not have the right or the privilege of withholding information from an active investigation, ignoring
double
the laws
tap
of
the
our
screen,
land,
y'all.
which
Let's
the
get the
Epstein
lights up. We got 24
Transparency
people
Act
in.
is with our subpoena from last July is, and the oversight Dems will continue to press for accountability. We'll continue to press for justice for survivors while also keeping them centered in this. So at the end of the day, we are still here seeking answers for women, for girls, and for the American public who has demanded justice, who have demanded answers to this, and whether or not they will pretend that the documents that they've given us is enough, we already know that they have not complied, and we are asking other people to make sure that we do not let them off the hook right now. So we look forward to her on the record deposition with our committee in response to our lawful subpoena.
I'm going to say a few more things, and I'm going to open up for questions, and if anyone wants to answer the questions. So just as a review, I think it's very important. This fake hearing, we found out about it yesterday with no time to prepare.
So they found out about it yesterday with no time to prepare. So basically, DOJ tried to sneak this in. They tried to sneak this in because they want to avoid the Epstein files, and they do not want to do the deposition in public. They don't want any cameras in there. And they do not want her to swear under oath. Pay attention, everybody. Pam Bondi is doing her best not to swear under oath to lose her job. But she is going to lose her job. Let's continue, y'all.
With no format given to us. We had no idea what the even format was going to be until just an hour or two before this kind of fake hearing that was set up. And it was clear from the minute it started that the Attorney General is trying to evade and not attend the mandated subpoena that is put in place. We asked her that question. Multiple members asked her the question. She would not respond. She said she'll continue to follow the law. That is not a response. She has a subpoena in place by Chairman Comer. If there's any questions, I'll take those now.
Sir, aside from the questions about the deposition, which I got was one of your major focuses, what else have you guys been asking her about? What else has the conversation in the room been about? Because I know you all said you had a lot of questions.
I'm going to let Congressman Lynch.
Hey, truth be told, welcome to the chat.
I support everything that's been said by my colleagues. Remember, our desire to get the Attorney General and Todd Blanche under oath is because we've been faced with lies from the very beginning. Go back to February 21st, 2025. Pam Bondi told us and told the public that the Epstein file client list was on her desk. But then we found out that was a lie.
What's going on, Chad?
That on July 25th,
double tap the screen, y'all. We got 32 people in here. Please double tap.
There's no need for any more disclosure.
We're about to give y'all a lot of good information
on any of these Epstein files. Then we found out later there's 6 million documents. They give us 3 million of those, and now we find that we can't get access to a lot of that information because it's so heavily redacted. And then finally.
Take a quick break from covering that press conference to bring in Democratic Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury of New Mexico, who serves on the House Oversight Committee. So, Congresswoman,
notice how everything's
your
New
fellow
Mexico,
Democrats
gang.
seem pretty fired up. What happened behind closed doors?
Yeah, well, I just walked out of the briefing room, and what is absolutely clear is that Pam Bondi has no intention of complying with the law and the subpoena that we've issued for her to be deposed under oath.
Gang, Pam Bondi does not want to go under oath, but it's clear that she's going to lose her job. She does not want to go under oath, clearly. Everybody, we got 37 in the building. Please double tap the screen. Let's get the likes up before we continue this live. We're about to flood y'all with a lot of information on this live tonight. We pray that the people come in and stick around and get this information, take it in, because we're bringing it to you live right here tonight. Let's go, gang.
In front of the committee. In fact, what appears to have happened is that she and Todd Blanche volunteered to come brief the committee. And so we walked in today ready to hear information that they would provide to us about what's going on with the Epstein File Transparency Act. And basically they said, we've released what we're going to release, and now you can ask me questions. And there was no oath, there were no cameras, the American public were locked out of the room, and it was clear that they were not prepared to answer questions about compliance with the law. And so ultimately, after Chairman Comer insulted Summer Lee, who is the lead in many ways on the subpoena, both of Pam Bondi and the subpoena of the Epstein files, and basically was extraordinarily disrespectful towards her, the Democrats walked out of the room because we're not going to play their games.
So just to be clear, the Transparency Act about the Epstein files, that required all of the files to be released by, I think it was in December. Mm-hmm. And there's something like 6 million of them. About 3 million have been released, 3 million have not. Of the 3 million that were released, the only thing that was supposed to be redacted was the names and identifying information of survivors. But it is clear that a lot of stuff that was...
And we do got some redacted files that was unredacted, gang, tonight that we're going to show you guys. We have the files that were unredacted. So they took it down. So now we're going to expose them tonight. Trump allegedly, I'm going to use the word allegedly, you're going to have to face the consequences, Trump. You're going down because we got it right here tonight. See, we just started this live. So we about to do you all type of ways. Trump has dropped the ball, and we're going to show it to you tonight. Let's go.
Redacted that wasn't pertaining to the survivors, was pertaining to the potential perpetrators, and survivor information was actually accidentally included. So they are not in compliance with the law, according to, as I understand the law. Is that right?
Absolutely. And not only are they not in compliance with the Epstein Files Transparency Act, they are not in compliance with a subpoena of the Epstein files. In fact, it's important to remember.
Hey, Maz, let's make these people get those lights up, y'all. Let's go.
We subpoenaed the full unredacted Epstein files, and the administration has not even attempted to comply with that subpoena. And part of why we launched a bipartisan effort to change the law to force them through the Epstein File Transparency Act to comply with our subpoena is because they were not complying to begin with. Then they missed the deadline, the over-redacted, and Todd Blanche himself said today that basically they've released everything they're going to release.
What's going on, Kevin? What's up, Kevin?
That is not compliance with the law. In addition to that, I think what we were all shocked by today is that Pam Bondi was asked multiple times by my colleagues if she would comply with the subpoena for her own deposition under oath, and she refused to answer yes. So I think we can say very...
So there's a reason why she refused to answer yes, right? Because she's thinking that if she does this quick sneak briefing, that she'll be able to slide under the radar, right? And not have to go to do the deposition in front of cameras. So this is where you seeing Pam Bondi actually try to finesse and think this is actually gonna stick. But we got news for you today, Band-Aid gang. Double tap the screen, get the likes up. Thank you. Thank you very much. So this is what we're gonna do, gang. We're gonna show you this is gonna be a great live tonight. I planned it perfect. Hey, gang, we're getting justice right now. It's a lot of things going on with Epstein, and we're about to break the code. Let's go, Band-Aid.
Really, that the cover-up continues.
So, Congresswoman, I believe we're here today because
said,
I think it was 4 or 5 Republicans on the Oversight Committee joined with all the Democrats to force Pam Bondi to come before the committee.
What's up, Trouble Times? I see
the Republicans on the committee who joined you for that. Are they with you in terms of the outrage you're obviously feeling about the fact that Bondi is not sitting for a deposition, and also the fact that the administration is not complying with the Epstein Transparency Act?
Well, I'll note that the subpoena for Pam Bondi to appear under oath was actually issued by Nancy Mace, who is a Republican from South Carolina. I did not see her in the room this afternoon. I don't know why, but I think it was clear that our colleagues across the aisle were running interference.
And you see, the Democrats, they had no time. They tried to sneak and do this. Comer needs to go down. Now, it's clear that Comer actually is with the shit. Now, if you ask me, Band-Aid Gang, you ask people on my channel, I believe Pam Bondi is in these Epstein files. I believe most of the DOJ is in these Epstein files. Otherwise, why would you want to risk your career and go so gun-ho for Donald Trump? And he's failing. He's losing the war. He just deployed over 200,000 troops to goddamn Iran, gang. It's people, did you see what those troops look like about to get deployed? Do you see what they look like, Band-Aid Gang? It's not the regular type of troops you look like that's ready to go to war. No, because they know what's going on in our country is corrupt. And we're going to get to that. Let's go, Band-Aid Gang.
For Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche, asking them leading questions. And like I said, it was set up like a sham hearing, not a briefing. They did not come in with any new information. They did not provide any sworn statements. And it appeared that our colleagues were basically trying to say, hey, look, they showed up. And we are not going to accept that as compliance with the law.
They have broke the law.
We have subpoenaed them. We have subpoenaed the files. And we have passed a bipartisan Transparency Act, which the president signed himself, and they have not complied with the law.
How do you reconcile that before you go?
It's crazy, gang. How does the law break the law? The law just broke the law, Band-Aid Gang. It's a sad day in America. Hey, Lynetta Kane, it is a sad day in America. The law just broke the law. The law just broke the law. Let's continue.
You reconcile the fact that Republicans overwhelmingly voted for the Transparency Act. The Senate voted for it, I think, on a voice vote, meaning everybody voted
double
for it.
Double tap 62 people in here. Please double tap the screen. Let's go, man.
The president signed it into law. They all made this public display of supporting this transparency, and
thank you for the light.
They're not doing it. How do you reconcile that?
Right. Well, I mean, my question is, how do they reconcile their own beliefs, their own values, their own morals, and their own politics with what the American people are demanding, including their oaths of office, which is that they follow the law themselves? So I think it's very clear the American people overwhelmingly are demanding justice for the survivors. They want accountability. They want perpetrators to be held accountable, and they can't run from that. And neither can the president. In fact, the questions are not going to end, whether it's questions about his own accusers, which have been covered up in the files, or it's the handling of this case. The American people are not going to let this go. And I think that my colleagues understand that, and that's why they have joined us on occasion to hold them accountable. But it is very clear that the Trump administration is doing everything that they can to run from this, and we are going to hold them accountable.
Band-Aid Gang, y'all get in here. So as we get to the meat and potatoes, gang. Oh, yeah. Did I mention that we about to... So breaking news, which has just came out. So now we're going to see... This is what's breaking, Band-Aid Gang. So they've just came out. So double tap the screen before we get into it. Thank you. I'm about to get them, gang. Kevin, I'm about to do them all type of ways. This is my reaction. So now let's get in here, y'all.
AG to try to get out of a legally binding subpoena to appear under oath in front of the committee. So let me be clear to Pam Bondi. You are required by the law to appear in front of Congress, and if you do not, we will hold you in contempt and we will pursue justice.
I told you we was going to beat them. Did I not tell y'all that? That we was going to beat them, gang? Listen what she said. Pam Bondi, you can't run. We got you. We beat you, gang. Let's go.
Any piece of information that was not otherwise asked by the committee. We believe this was an active attempt by the AG and the deputy AG to try to get out of a legally binding subpoena to appear under oath in front of the committee. So let me be clear to Pam Bondi. You are required by the law to appear in front of Congress, and if you do not, we will hold you in contempt and we will pursue justice. This is not optional. Let us be clear about that. Now, I want to talk.
Okay. There you got a Pam Bondi, you don't got an option. She don't got an option anymore, Band-Aid gang. I'm gonna window out of this. No. You don't have an option, Pam Bondi. You don't have an option. Gang, y'all got to go back to Christy Nome. If they got Christy Nome, what you think they gonna do to damn Pam Bondi? I said, damn. Let's go, gang.
Just for a few moments about a few pieces about why DOJ is failing to comply and what I believe are some of the important threads in this deposition. First and foremost, this committee issued a subpoena on August 5th requiring the release of all unredacted Epstein files. The Department of Justice has not complied with that subpoena. We then passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act on a bipartisan basis, and President Trump signed it. The department...
They did not comply. They did not comply. This is law. They did not comply. So many laws being broken back to back to back. But again, they're still going to have to face the judge. Let's go.
Justice has not complied with even half of the required files that they need to release to the Congress. And now we have Pam Bondi saying in front of the committee yesterday that she will not commit to comply with a congressional subpoena. So we are putting the U.S. Department of Justice on notice. Secondly,
gang, she said she would not commit to comply. Did y'all hear that? Now let's thank these Democrats for coming straight to the line, because you know what? They're doing their best. Let's think about it, gang. These people that we see back here, we in war with Iran right now, a war that we didn't want to even be in, right? Now we're about to lose troops. Families are about to lose loved ones, right, gang? For the Epstein files, families are about to lose their loved ones for a cover-up of the Epstein files. So while these people sit at home and lie and refuse to follow the law, something that we're supposed to uphold, so we expect them to uphold, right? We expect them to follow the rules. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. And you got to give these people the utmost respect, because we're at war now. They can't stop the war. They can't stop the war, but they can kind of slow it down a little bit, gang. So you got to give them the utmost respect. Please hit the like button. Let's go, gang.
I'm going to talk about the allegations against Donald Trump and how this relates to the deposition today. I believe that there is more than one allegation of rape by a minor in the Epstein files involving President Trump. Today, the ranking member...
Oh, did you hear what she said? She said she believes it's more than one grape than the Epstein files. I do too. But I'm finna show y'all tonight that they reducted them. They reducted. Yes. Yes, they did. Let's go, Band-Aid gang. We're going to show y'all.
Doe 4, which is a known FBI investigation in which a minor who was an adult by the time the FBI interviewed her alleges that Donald Trump attempted to rape her, as well as Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh.
But in the estate files that were transmitted to the committee months ago, there was also evidence of a lawsuit and a restraining order against Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. I asked today the attorney in this deposition if these were two different individuals, and he could not confirm.
You're right, Richard.
I believe these are two different allegations involving two different minors. If that is indeed the case.
Thank you, truth be told, we got one. So they have been able to redact one of the files, and I'm going to show that tonight. So they've got one redacted. This is what's going to put him in jail. Oh, yeah, we got it. We got it. I wanted to put it out last night, but I took my time. We got it. He's going to jail. Trump is going to jail. I'm about to show y'all that tonight. Trump is going to have to face the consequences. I'm just warming it up for everybody in here. Please double tap the screen. Let's go.
There is not just one allegation of rape of a minor by President Donald Trump. It means there is two in the existing Epstein files. One at the Department of Justice and two inside of the estate files that were transmitted to the committee. And the continued unwillingness of of the Department of Justice and the President to answer basic questions about this case are evidence of a continued cover-up. And there is nothing that the President has said or done or anything in these files that has exonerated him or shown that any law enforcement agent has exonerated him from culpability.
Trump going down, gang. Man down. Man down.
Finally, New Mexico has begun to reopen a criminal investigation at Zorro Ranch in New Mexico, which was one of the many properties in which Jeffrey Epstein committed acts of sexual abuse against minors, both girls and boys. We know that there was not only criminal allegations brought to the FBI and DOJ, but there was also a civil suit involving an allegation against Jeffrey Epstein at the ranch.
I can help anyone, no matter their experience level, to build a wildly profitable e-commerce business.
Mr. Indike, who is in the room being deposed right now, managed the ranch properties, and I asked a number of questions about what happened at Zorro Ranch. And I will say this, although I can't speak to what was specifically on the record, I was told today by Mr. Indike.
Pay attention. They're saying what happened at Zorro Ranch, right? Everybody notice that they're saying what happened at Zorro Ranch, not the bodies being outside somewhere buried. That's what they want the Band-Aid gang and the people that's watching to believe. They want to keep the narrative that the stuff is outside, that there's some bodies buried somewhere outside Zorro Ranch. No, the stuff happened inside of Zorro Ranch. Underground, and we're going to keep on going, and we're going to keep believing in it.
Attorneys, that they were not even aware that the U.S. Department of Justice asked to drop New Mexico's case against Jeffrey Epstein.
See?
And so whether that is true, we cannot verify it, but all of this points to the fact that nobody is talking, nobody is telling the truth, nobody is helping us get real answers, and so the cover-up continues.
Yes. So with her saying that the cover-up continues, now I want y'all to remember this. Yes, the cover-up continues. I believe most of the police station, all they're down there in New Mexico is down with the shit. New Mexico, they're going to have to get all of them out there because New Mexico is down with the shit. They've given these people enough time to do the cover-up on Zorro Ranch. When they heard what was going on at Zorro Ranch, they should have went straight in. But they gave them enough time. The New Mexico government, the people in New Mexico, they know what is going on. Epstein had them paid off too. That's what we believe over here. Let's continue, y'all.
Good afternoon, Congresswoman Yasmin, and sorry, I represent Arizona's 3rd District. You know, every time we go through one of these depositions, it becomes abundantly clear that we are in the midst of the most egregious cover-up in American history. Darren Indike, just like Richard Kahn, just like Les Wexner, these are 3
Thank you, Lynetta.
Men who played a major role in Jeffrey Epstein's life and a major role in enabling him to be able to rape and abuse likely over 1,000.
The whole state of Mexico was paid off. New Mexico, if you ask me. They was paid off. They gave this man a place to land his helicopters. So they gave him airspace. You guys know that? New Mexico gave him airspace to be able to land his helicopter with children. We don't know. We don't know. But we showed you guys. And I'm going to go back to that on my next live. What is hidden in those mountains? It's a lot of secret places hidden in those mountains. We have found one Band-Aid gang, and we're going to continue. I haven't been searching because I've been preparing live, and right now, things are hitting back to back in the algorithms right now. So we're getting justice, right? We got Kristi Noem out the way. Now it's going as a pattern. So after they get Pam Bondi, guess who's next? Cash Patel. Yeah. Cash Patel's going to come next. Donald Trump then will be on the chopping block. Trump is about to hit the chopping block, and we're going to show you that tonight. Please double tap the screen. I have it right now. Let's go, gang. Let's watch this out.
Children. And every single time, whether it be Les Wexner, who is the billionaire financier of Jeffrey Epstein, whether it be today with Mr. Indike, the impression that they give off and their demeanor and the vibe they are portraying is that they're just they were just there. They were just, casually around. They did
stealing money.
But they didn't know anything. They had no clue. They were not, Les Wexner told us they had no personal relationship. There was no friendship. Today, Mr. Indyke is, he's just a family lawyer, and, he heard about some allegations back, in the mid-2000s, but he didn't really think anything of them. And they have stood by him throughout the entirety of this. They continue to have this, unbelievable loyalty and defensiveness, but also covering up what truly happened. And my line of questioning today was about what knowledge Mr.
Now, I see somebody in the chat. Mad Rush, you came back again? Mad Rush, everybody, Mad Rush always come with some BS, but he always respectful. Now, Mad Rush, you don't know who you up here with, right? You needed to watch the live earlier when I just said that he's not exonerated. No. Mad Rush, he is not exonerated. I'm going to show you that tonight, gang. Did I mention that? Oh, I must have left it out. Let's go.
Had of the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. Can't go into the details, but
don't leave, Mad Rush. I gotta prove it to you.
Comes out, I think that's important to look at, and how he discusses the allegations that have been made against President Trump by.
Double tap that screen, y'all.
Minors. This is very, very concerning to me, and I will just end by saying that I am extremely disappointed in how Republican Chairman Comer is handling this investigation. The vast majority
Comer's paid off.
Subpoena.
Comer is paid off, gang.
Investigation is because Democrats on the House Oversight Committee have been pushing it over and over. And
Brandon, you're right.
Have not backed down from this, and last night what we saw was unbelievable. They were absolutely trying to work with Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche to use this fake hearing as a way to get out of the deposition. That is unacceptable. We are demanding that Attorney General Pam Bondi come forward on April 14th for a deposition under oath to answer questions in front of the American people.
Thank you, everyone. Dave Min, California 47, and I'm an attorney, a former law professor. Had the chance to ask a few different lines of questions earlier with Mr. Indyke. And I have to say I'm very surprised that he did not take the Fifth Amendment. I think it's very likely he perjured himself over and over and over again. And just to give you a few examples, I'm not going to go into detail, but he claimed, and I think this is in the statement you all received, that he had no knowledge of any women or girls, and yet that doesn't account for the fact that numerous women have described how he helped them fix their problems. One woman had described how he had helped her get an apartment. He helped women with their immigration issues. He reportedly told a number of women not to talk to police when the police started investigating Epstein. It's just not credible to claim that you had no knowledge of what was happening. I asked, among other things, about the $725,000 that he withdrew in cash at the maximum level of $75 to $100 per withdrawal. That doesn't trigger federal reporting. He couldn't describe what that was for, just kind of, again, claim no knowledge, and don't want to get into the details. You'll read the transcript, but this is just not credible. What is also really something that is incredible is that the FBI and Department of Justice had never interviewed Mr. Indyke or Mr. Khan, even those people were central figures in the Epstein files and the scandal around the rapes, the human trafficking, and all that.
Gang, Angel said, look at my dude eyebrows, bruh. Look at his eyebrows. I said, damn, it's eyebrow game. Let's go, gang.
And I just want to applaud Robert, Jasmine, Summer Lee, who's not here with us, because it's under their leadership that we are moving forward right now. And I think what has become crystal clear over the course of these last few depositions is that these people are going to lie to us over and over and over. And what is really important is that we get the documents, because the documents are the things that can actually show us what actually happened here. I suspect he's going to give
they have the documents. If they don't got the documents, we got one of them. I said, damn, Band-Aid gang, we be kicking them in their ass. Let's go.
A few more hours of saying how he knows nothing in defiance of actual evidence showing he knew a lot. I think he, again, is perjuring himself. If I was advising him, I'd tell him to take the Fifth Amendment because
now I'm going to stop playing this because he keep on making me want to go buy me some Chinese food. So now what I'm going to do, gang, is get straight to the meat and potatoes because I wanted to go get me some Chinese food. You know what I'm saying? But I said, hold on. You know, he wanted to make me want to go get me some egg foo young and shit like that. So now what I'm about to do, Band-Aid Gang, is get straight to it. Somebody said same. Okay, he made me want to go get me some egg foo young. You know what I'm saying? Some shrimp fried rice and all of that. Then his sideburn and then his eyelashes. So what I'm about to do, Band-Aid Gang, and his eyebrows and his sideburns. So I'm about to get straight to the meat and potatoes. Watch, Band-Aid Gang. Let me show you something. Now, what they did was, they didn't know that we were sitting in the bushes, right, Band-Aid Gang? So what I'm about to do is do them all type of ways. So here, Band-Aid Gang, we have shown Trump to now. What we finna show you is that Trump, you messed up. You got to go. I'm about to show the gang right now where Trump has to go, Band-Aid Gang. Let's go. Hit that like button.
Emailed Ghislaine Maxwell and said, quote, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked.
Now, what we're about to see right here, gang, real time. What the Band-Aid Gang and people that's in here, get them likes up, because I'm about to show it to you. They have redacted the files. And so guess what, gang? Now we get to see, and watch how big they tried to black this shit out, gang. Now, Mad Rush, pay attention to what I made for the commentary. We about to do them all type of ways. You know, Mad Rush, you came back for a reason because you know it's something about that boy that makes sense, right? Mad Rush, you know you did. And you know I rock with you. I rock with you. Because you come in here and you always be respectful. And Damon got the scope on you. Yes, she is. Now, listen to this, gang. Now, they was able to redact what they tried to hide. Now, watch this, gang. Let's go.
Is Trump. Redacted victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Trump also denied that he ever went on Epstein's plane.
Watch this.
But of course, the Southern District of New York said that he was on his plane 8 times, often with young women. Mm-hmm. The reason why this matters is because we don't have half of the Epstein files. And if the Attorney General is covering this up in such a degree that she is redacting things from Congress,
watch this, guy.
Then redacting things from the public that she then shows to Congress.
Right there.
What else?
Wait a minute. I said, damn. Y'all gonna have to double tap the screen for me for this one. Double tap. Let's get up to 30 likes. Because what I'm look, gang. Look at what they. Now this is sad. These motherfuckers. Look, you would think this was a video, right? I said, damn. Look, gang. I'm about to do them all type of ways. Double tap my screen, gang. Let's get the likes up. I'm finna show you right now. Now, look. They tried to redact. They tried to redact all of this. But they knocked it down. Yeah, we about to see it right here. Let's go.
Is she covering up? And I would just show that this document here was redacted to the public.
There it is.
It was
there it is. They tried to redact it to the public, but there it is. They took it off. There it is. Now let's see. Trump, report your ass. Trump, report your ass. Trump, report your ass. Now watch this, gang.
Unredacted to Congress. And it completely
they unredacted it, y'all. Look at
everything that Donald Trump has said
Boom.
About Jeffrey Epstein, about what he knew about the allegations, about his disgusting behavior, about whether he'd ever been to Epstein's house, saying I may have been there with my wife. Asked if any young girls were there. No. He may have had children of guests, but that's it. Well, we know that's not the case. Mm-hmm. Now, why?
Well, in your top right, there's 3 buttons. If you hit that top right, there's 3 buttons, and you'll see the like button in there. Now, look, y'all. They was able to unredact them. So, what? Look, y'all. Look, they tried to cover it up. Right, Band-Aid Gang? Look how big they tried to cover it up. See, God is good all the time. Can I get a all the time? Because, look, they look at the cover up, but they unredacted it. Trump, you're going to jail. We got you.
Emailed Ghislaine Maxwell.
Hey, G-Money.
And said, quote, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump.
Look, y'all.
Redacted victim spent hours at my house with him.
Now, don't be no fool. By law, this is right. These people are doing this under oath, and this is by law. This is by law. Ain't no bullshit right here, gang. We don't play the bullshit game on this channel. Now, look, we unredacted them. Now, look, y'all.
Never once been mentioned. Trump
Hey,
also
G-Money
denied that he ever went on Epstein's plane.
Now, he denied it. Now, watch
But
this,
of
G-Money.
course, the Southern District of New York said that he was on his plane 8 times, often with young women. The reason why this matters is because we don't have half of the Epstein files. And if the Attorney General is covering this up in such a degree,
Pam Bondi,
that she is
talking about Pam Bondi. Now listen to this, gang. Watch. She's on the chopping block to source Trump. Watch.
Redacting things from Congress that she then, redacting things from the public that she then shows to Congress. What else is she covering up?
So what else is she covering up? We got 65 in here. Double tap the screen. Look at all this that they tried to redact. Why would they try to redact this, right? This is what show you that she's about to go to jail and Trump is gone. Yeah, Trump, you gone, boy. We got you. You gone. You look at this. Look at that. That's what made it look bad. You see what I'm saying, gang? Angel, this what y'all can hit that cash app too. Hit that cash app. Now look, gang. The cash app is pinned. Y'all get that cash app. Look, y'all. Yeah, you try to do all of that. Yeah, that shit look bad. Tell me that don't look bad. Do that look bad? Hell, that look bad. So now they unredacted it. Let's go, gang.
And I would just show that this document here was redacted to the public. It was unredacted to Congress. And it completely disputes everything that Donald Trump has said about Jeffrey Epstein.
Y'all seeing it right here.
About what he knew about the allegations, about his disgusting behavior, about whether he'd ever been to Epstein's house, saying I may have been there with my wife. Asked if any young girls were there. No. He may have had children of guests, but
Bye,
that's
Donald Trump. We beat you.
That's not the case. Now, why is this important? Because if the Attorney General is covering up this information that she then reveals to Congress, what else is she covering up about Donald Trump's involvement in the Epstein files?
Because she's
a valid question to be asked, and that's what Trump said. Except that's just completely
now right here you're gonna see what's on the redacted files. So now you're gonna hear this young man explain what's on the unredacted. What they unredacted, this is what it reads by Trump's lawyer and Trump. Watch this.
Time and time again, this has been debunked. And yet again, in the Epstein files, this new email further debunks it. So what you're looking at here, which was previously redacted, you can see below that yellow mark, everything was redacted. What you're looking at is an email from Epstein's attorney at the time, Jack Goldberger. The subject was Trump. It was emailed to Jeffrey Epstein, and it says, spoke to Alan Garten, Trump's attorney. Garten arranged a 20-minute phone conference with Trump and Brad in lieu of a deposition. The following was discussed. And it says, Jeffrey Epstein ever expelled from Mar-a-Lago, ? Trump said, and his attorney said, no, he was not a member. He may have been a guest, never asked to leave, which just completely contradicts everything that Donald Trump has been saying. And also remember, the Wall Street Journal has confirmed that, yes, Epstein was a member, or excuse me, he was a guest, never a member, but Donald Trump gave him membership benefits anyway. For example, Trump would allow the Mar-a-Lago spa to send young girls to Epstein's house to give him massages, and inevitably...
See, that's where you messed up at. To be a member, the man is sending women to be a member, gang. He'll send some girls over your house to rub on your body and all that type of shit. What type of stuff y'all got going on, gang? So Trump, now it didn't reverse from Epstein sending the girls, like somebody in my chat said earlier. Trump is the biggest one. Trump is sending women over to Epstein, y'all. Women over to Epstein to take care of his body. I said, damn. Now listen, y'all.
Epstein was creepy and did inappropriate things to these girls. And so that is a benefit that Donald Trump gave to Epstein, despite him being a guest. And everybody in the spa knew that Epstein was creepy, and Donald Trump continued to send the girls anyway. That is an underreported part of the Epstein story.
Prostitution, gang. Donald Trump is sending girls Prostitution. You do me a favor, I do you a favor. But it's with the girl. See, this is what these guys got, some weird fetishes. Let's go, gang.
That truly is a major bombshell in all of this. But it continues saying, Mark Epstein said Trump on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. Is that true? Trump said, I've been on a lot of planes, may have been on his, no young girls on the plane. We know that also not to be true. What do you know about the allegations against Epstein? Trump was asked. He said, only what I read in the paper. I do not believe that for a second. I do not believe that for a second. I mean, some of these Epstein emails have Epstein himself confirming that Trump knew. He even said that Trump knew about the girls, that he's the dog that hasn't barked. I mean, give me a break. Trump has ever been at Epstein's house. He said, I may have been there with my wife. Interesting. Much closer than Trump likes to make it seem. Any young girls there? No, may have been children of guests, but that's it. Also don't buy that. And then at the bottom it says, Trump specifically asked Garden to advise us of the interview. Brad had also previously talked to the manager of Mar-a-Lago, and they confirmed that Epstein was never asked to leave. Completely contradicting everything that Donald Trump is saying and everything that MAGA has been saying about Trump's relationship with Epstein. They cannot get their...
Them right there, unredacted. This unredacted file has blue Trump's cover. Now, here's the other thing that I want to let you guys know. Now, we have found out, breaking news, that, you know, Jeffrey Epstein, and I'm going to show y'all that tonight. Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer, that has came out, had paid the 13-year-old victim. Yeah. Paid her to throw it away. Paid them. Yeah, did I mention that? They settled in court. They settled. Yeah, they paid it. Yeah, we don't want no smoke because it was true. Now, we're going to get to that. Now, let's go, gang.
Lie straight, and their lies certainly do not align with Congress. Earlier today, Attorney General Pam Bondi and her deputy, Todd Blanche, went to Congress to give them a briefing on the Epstein files and how the Department of Justice handled the files. And it got heated behind closed doors when a Democratic member of Congress asked for some clarification on the files, asked for this to not just be a closed-door hearing, but rather open to the public so we can know what happened. This is from CNN. Representative Summer Lee said she asked Oversight Chair James Comer in closed-door meeting if he would force Bondi to comply with a subpoena for a deposition. And according to her, instead of answering as an adult, he said that I was bitching. That's the language that Republicans are using to describe women members of Congress who are trying to find out more about the Epstein files. And Caitlin Collins actually has a breakdown, a play-by-play, and it went like this. Lee, Mr. Chairman, there are no cameras here. You don't have to perform. We were told this was a briefing. Comer said, it is a briefing. Lee said, this is Representative Summerlee, but she hasn't offered any information.
Now listen, this is what Comer is saying. So you know Comer is with the shit. Comer has been paid off, right? So if you listen to his verbiage, you can tell that Comer is with the cover-up.
This is a hearing. This is a hearing without the cameras. This is a hearing without C-SPAN. It's a hearing without the public. So what I'm asking is, he cuts her off saying, you want me to scoot some chairs around and make a circle? Would that make it feel more like a briefing? Lee said, I would like C-SPAN. I would like you to bring the transcribers. I would like you to go through with the decorum and with the rules. Comer said, are you trying to find out information or are you trying to embarrass the Attorney General?
Bingo. So why would Comer say try to embarrass, right, the Attorney General, which is Pam Bondi? Why would he be trying to embarrass her? She embarrassed herself. Cover up. You're going to jail, Trump. Pam Bondi, you about to be held accountable and might do some jail time too. Lex Wexner, going to jail. They're going to jail. It's right here. Why would Comer say, are you trying to find information or trying to embarrass the Attorney General? Hit my like button, gang. She embarrassed herself. If she hasn't done anything wrong, why would she be embarrassed? How could you embarrass somebody that is straight up and down? How could you embarrass somebody that is straight up and down? You can't. Keyword, embarrass. Right there. There's your keyword. Right there. That right there, remember that when Trump, to embarrass the Attorney General. What? We want cameras in there. We want her to go under oath. The same way Les Wexner did. Exactly, Eva. She was on the island too. And go back and look at my latest videos. I exposed that too. When she was in college. Yeah. We did that. So how would Band-Aid Gang, put a 1 in the chat if you agree with me. How would you embarrass the Attorney General if she's straight up and down? She embarrassed herself. That's your key word right there. Now let's continue.
Such an absurd question when all Representative Summerlee was asking is for
Thank you,
this
G-Money.
briefing, which, you know, just be public. Be public. Have the
Right.
transcribers in there.
Go
Bring
public.
C-SPAN in. Comer didn't want
Go
it.
public. Bring C-SPAN. Bring the cameras in there. Go under earth. Do everything if you straight up and down. That shows you this is a complete cover-up, and some of these people that's with the cover-up is in the Epstein files. That's why they're going gun-ho and doing everything to redact everything that you see when it comes to the files, because they are in the files. Let's go.
And Lee said, absolutely not. I think the Attorney General is a woman who is completely able to defend herself, and I'm not attacking her. I'm questioning you. You run this place. What I'm asking you is, will you commit to going as far as cut her off again? I've already issued the subpoena. And Lee said, and this is not the deposition. Comer said, you've kind of wasted 3 minutes of everyone's time just kind of bitching. And Lee said, really? Wow, bitching. And also, according to Caitlin Collins, there were audible gasps in the room. So talk about a cover-up. I mean, James Comer doing everything he can to try to save Attorney General Pam Bondi from facing some tough questions from members of Congress and also having this information be public. They want to keep it behind closed doors, keep it secret, and that's not going to fly.
There was a major setback for former...
Where's Mad Rush at? Mad Rush, are you still in here, gang? Mad Rush, put a 1 in the chat if you still in here. Somebody go call Mad Rush. Tag Mad Rush. Mad Rush, where you at, gang? They calling for you. Donald Trump, where he at? He ain't in there no more. Okay, Mad Rush, this for you.
President Donald Trump in his federal election interference case. A panel of appeals court judges firmly rejected his arguments for immunity yesterday, declaring, quote, former president...
Uh-oh, where's Mad Rush? Mad Rush, get over here. Mad Rush, I'm sad. Don't nobody knock Mad Rush out of him. He in his feelings. Let Mad Rush be in his feelings. You know Mad Rush come over here on that shit. Mad Rush, I'm not in my feelings, Mad Rush. I'm not sad, Mad Rush. You finna be sad because Mad Rush, you said that he had immunity, Mad Rush. Put a 1 in the chat, Mad Rush, if you said that he had immunity. That's all I'm saying, Mad Rush. This between me and you. You said that Donald Trump had immunity. Mad Rush. Mad Rush, here we go.
Major setback for former President Donald Trump in his federal election interference case. A panel of appeals court judges firmly rejected his arguments for immunity yesterday, declaring, quote, former President Trump has become citizen Trump. Jan Crawford is at the federal courthouse in Washington. Jan, what does all of this mean?
Well, good morning. I mean, it means that Trump is all but certain to go to the Supreme Court and ask them to intervene. He's got till Monday to do that. And whether or not the justices take up this case, that could determine when.
Stop playing with my channel, Mad Rush. I ain't new to it. I'm true to it. You said that Mad Rush, where you at? Don't duck now. Don't duck now.
Major setback for former President Donald Trump in his federal election interference case. A panel of appeals court judges firmly rejected his arguments for immunity yesterday, declaring, quote, former President Trump has become citizen Trump. Jan Crawford is at the federal courthouse in Washington. Jan, what does all of this mean?
Well, good morning. I mean, it means that Trump is all but certain to go to the Supreme Court and ask them to intervene. He's got till Monday to do that. And whether or not the justices take up this case, that could determine when Trump goes to trial. From the courthouse to the campaign trail, former President Donald Trump has insisted he should be immune from criminal prosecution.
You have to have guaranteed immunity for
Look at his
otherwise
hand.
the president's not going to be able to function.
But on Tuesday, a D.C.-based federal appeals court rejected Trump's sweeping claims. Unanimously.
Oh Lord, have mercy. Where is he at? Mad Rush, pop out, Mad Rush. I said, damn, Mad Rush, no. Don't come up, Mad Rush. He done disappeared, y'all. I'm going to play it again, make him stay hidden. We going to make Mad Rush stay ducked off. One more time, y'all.
Public. They want to keep it behind closed doors, keep it secret, and that's not going to fly.
There was a major setback for former President
What
Donald
Mad
Trump
Rush
in
at?
his federal election interference case. A panel of appeals court judges firmly rejected his arguments for immunity yesterday, declaring, quote, former President Trump has become citizen Trump.
Mama, you know how I do
At
these
the federal
people.
courthouse in Washington. Jen, what does all of this mean?
Well, good morning. I mean, it means that Trump is all but certain to go to the Supreme Court and ask them to intervene. He's got till Monday to do that. And whether or not the justices take up this case, that could determine when Trump goes to trial. From the courthouse to the campaign trail,
Lynetta Kane.
Trump has insisted he should be immune from criminal prosecution.
You have to have guaranteed immunity for a president. Otherwise, the president's not going to be able to function.
But on Tuesday, a D.C.-based federal appeals court rejected Trump's sweeping claims, unanimously ruling that the former president must face trial for efforts to subvert the 2020 election.
Vincent be anxious. I got you, Vincent. All right, Vince.
And then, Charlie Kirk is killed
Here go
publicly
another person
in a
jump
very horrific
ship.
way, and we're not really even allowed to look into that at all. And Charlie Kirk was one of President Trump's closest advisors, and he also advocated heavily against.
Now, the Gray spills the tea. Put this in the chat. Now, one of Trump people just jump ship. Here you go, Joe. Just jump ship. Jump. He jumped ship. He said, fuck that, man. That war over there in Iran, man, we don't need to be over there. He was rocking with Trump. Now he jumping ship too. See, he jumping ship too. Everybody is jumping ship with Trump. Mad Rush, get your ass back over here. Now let's go, gang. Thank you, YG, for this clip. Let's go, gang.
From the courthouse to the campaign trail, former President Donald Trump has insisted he should be immune from criminal
But he's not. He said he insists he's not.
Otherwise, the president's not going to be able to function.
But on Tuesday, a D.C.-based federal appeals court rejected Trump's sweeping claims, unanimously ruling that the former president must face trial for efforts to subvert the 2020 election.
And then, Charlie Kirk is killed publicly in a very horrific way, and we're not really even allowed to look into that at all. And Charlie Kirk was one of President Trump's closest advisors, and he also advocated heavily against a war with Iran. He was in the Oval Office in the lead up to the 12-day war. I wasn't particularly close with Charlie. He was very gracious to me when I was running for Congress, very, very supportive. So we knew each other. And the last time I saw Charlie Kirk on this earth was in June in the West Wing, in the stairway, and I said hi to him, and he looked me in the eye, and he said very loudly, and it's a small, you've been in the West Wing, it's small, it's a tight space, and he said, Joe, stop us from getting into a war with Iran. Very loudly.
He was single-minded.
Exactly, cool, boy, I feel you.
So when one of President Trump's closest advisors, who is vocally advocating for us to not go to war with Iran and for us to rethink at least our relationship with the Israelis, and then he's suddenly publicly assassinated, and we're not allowed to ask any questions about that. It's a data point. It's a data point that we need to look into.
What do you mean when you say we're not allowed to ask any questions about that?
We've been told that this individual, Robinson, is a lone gunman, and maybe he is. But the investigation that I was a part of, the National Counterterrorism Center was a part of, we were stopped from continuing to investigate. And the FBI will say that they stopped that because they wanted to turn everything over to the Utah state authorities. Everything's going to trial. It's very, very sensitive. But there was still a lot for us to look into that I can't really get into. But there was still linkage for us to investigate that we needed to run down. And I'm not making any conclusions. I'm not saying
No, I don't think you are.
because of this happened. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there's unanswered questions. We know the pressure because of the text messages that have been made public that Charlie was under a lot of pressure from a lot of pro-Israel donors. And again, we know Charlie was advocating to President Trump against this war with Iran.
Now we're about to go right back because y'all know I had to do them all type of ways again. I'm going to do this. Now, Trump, this is Trump. Now, Trump, you need to stop playing with my channel. I'm about to do you all type of ways. So everybody get in here. Let's
was
go.
on Capitol Hill today answering questions from lawmakers. This is the latest deposition in the House investigation of the infamous sex trafficker, Ross Ketchke, live in D.C. with the latest on this. Ross.
Well, Louis, for months now, members of Congress have been pouring through Jeffrey Epstein's financial history, trying to piece together exactly how he was able to build so much wealth and so many connections to some of the most powerful people in the world.
Bye-bye, Donald Trump.
Running an international sex trafficking operation.
At one point, his estate was worth over $750 million. Where did that money come from?
Jeffrey Epstein's accountant stepping behind closed doors for testimony on Capitol Hill. Richard Kahn ran Epstein's finances for years. Lawmakers investigating the case say they're now working to build a paper trail to see if any of that money was connected to Epstein's criminal activity.
Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring would not have been possible without Richard Kahn.
Despite being a college dropout and former high school math teacher, Epstein was able to build an empire of wealth and power, managing money for high-profile billionaires.
There are somewhere around at least 64 entities affiliated with Epstein that we've discovered. LLCs, companies, different things like that.
Members of Congress say Kahn identified some of those clients during his testimony.
And that was Les Wexner, Glenn Dubin, Stephen Sinofsky, the Rothschilds, and Leon Black.
There's another head of state that was mentioned as having financial transactions with Jeffrey Epstein, not an American one.
Lawmakers say Kahn also provided information about at least one settlement payment to an Epstein survivor. That same survivor had reportedly made accusations.
Bam, we's out of here. YG, tell him to get me off of them. YG, the gray spills the tea. Tell him to get me off of him. He's out of here. There it is. There it is. Look at that right there. There he is. He's gone. Look, y'all.
Glenn Dubin, Stephen Sinofsky, the Rothschilds, and Leon Black.
There's another head of state that was mentioned as having financial transactions with Jeffrey Epstein, not an American one.
Lawmakers say Kahn also provided information about at least one settlement payment to an Epstein survivor. That same survivor had reportedly made accusations against President Donald Trump, who's never been implicated in Epstein's crimes.
Another person who was an accuser of Donald Trump was given in settlement by Jeffrey Epstein's estate. We did confirm that.
And the next step of this investigation
here.
before the House Oversight Committee will be interviewing senior members of President Donald.
He's out of here. Did y'all hear that? Epstein lawyer settled in court for the 13-year-old. Why would they settle? Why would they settle in court if it wasn't true? Plain and simple. And guess what? Yes. Epstein accountant exposed it all. Donald Trump, we'll see you at the crossroad. Band-Aid, you know Diamond Gang, we'll see you at the crossroad. That's all we needed right there. What I just showed y'all in the last couple videos tied the knot on everything. What I just showed you, his attorney. What I just showed you, the unredacted files. He's gone. He is gone, bro. It's just a matter of time. They tried to cover it up, but they couldn't. Last minute, they couldn't. It's universal law. What goes around comes around. It might tarry for a minute, but you will get caught. He's out of here, gang. There it is right there. There it is. He can't get out of that. Listen what this dude said one more time. I got some more.
By Jeffrey Epstein's estate. We did confirm that.
It's confirmed.
And the next step of this investigation for the House Oversight Committee will be interviewing senior members of President Donald Trump's cabinet. That includes deposing Attorney General Pam Bondi about her handling of the millions of Epstein documents that have been released to the public over the last few months, as well as Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, who had a personal relationship with Epstein in the early 2000s. Live in Washington, Ross Ketchke, Local 10 News.
Howard Lutnick got to hit the chopping block. We good. Let's go.
Okay.
Investigators are searching through the former ranch of Jeffrey Epstein over allegations it may have been used for criminal activity. We're talking about Zorro Ranch. You probably have heard of it. He used to own it. It's just like, maybe half an hour outside Santa Fe. New Mexico's Justice Department says it conducted a search yesterday in cooperation with the ranch's new owners. You'll remember that the state attorney general had reopened an investigation into the ranch last month after it was closed in 2019. Following new allegations from the Epstein files. The AG did not specify which allegations, but some of the documents recently released by the DOJ included an email to a local radio host alleging, I'm quoting here, somewhere in the hills outside the Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G. Now, no evidence has surfaced to confirm these allegations, and attorneys for Ghislaine Maxwell did not immediately return our request for comment. Ryan Riley is covering this one for us. So let's talk it through. There's been a lot of attention on, obviously, Epstein's Island. There's been a lot of attention on the New York townhouse that he owned. And now it feels like there's...
Lied to you again. Paid off. Cover up. There's not been a lot of activity at Epstein's Island. Y'all ain't showed us shit on Epstein Island. Y'all showed us, goddammit, Lutnick with his children, and we didn't see the nanny. We didn't see the nanny and they children walking around. Yeah, we didn't see that. We ain't see what was inside of that little box building with the stripes around it. We want to go in there. The people want to go in there. And we want to go underground. Yeah, show us underground. Show us with a body camera that you walking in. We want body cameras. We want to see y'all moving shit around, moving shit all around, so we can know as the people that you guys are not pulling the cover up. Let's go.
Like has shifted to this Zorro Ranch here, right?
Exactly. So there's this Truth Commission that's operating, and it's a multi-million-dollar investigation.
This is through the New Mexico State Legislature.
Correct. Right. Aimed at looking at what exactly went wrong in terms of what could they have missed in state laws that could have been improved or fixed to prevent this from happening.
By the way, that was only fairly recently opened, right? Exactly. After the release of the DOJ documents.
Exactly right. And so, I mean, when you're talking, it's a little bit, I think, as you read in sort of that intro there, there's questions about what exactly they're zeroing in on. But I think that this is meant to sort of give some answers to the public rather than necessarily, at the moment at least, based on what we know, focused on any individual criminal charges. Of course, you can't charge Epstein because he's dead. But, I think that's basically what they're trying to do is get at some.
Band-Aid gang. Can anybody tell me? I can't make this shit up. What they see? This is the type of investigation I do. Can y'all tell me what y'all see? I'll tell you what I see. Yeah, I see this mountain. I see how I got that crease in the mountain. I see a whole bunch of shit. Yeah, that's underground. When I look at this, I see it underground. Yeah, I see the laboratories. I see this mountain. I see the laboratories. Yeah, that's what I see. I see the cleft in this mountain. I see everything in this mountain. I want to know what's underground. I don't give a damn I do care about them finding them bodies, but they trying to distract us and have us looking around here, right? They want us looking out here. They don't want us looking inside of there. That's what they don't want us to do. Get out of here, Truth, Sue, whatever your name is. You was looking at the Cash App. You know you want to Cash App this channel. Because at the end of the day, everybody going to look back and say, that boy was right. Yeah, that boy was right. Look at that little hole right there. Yeah, you see that right there? Yeah, look at that. Look at that right there. Yeah, look at that right there. Band-Aid gang, let's continue.
The truth of this and reveal what gaps there might be in state law.
In other words, if there were any other co-conspirators kind of thing?
Potentially, yeah. Okay. I think going to, it's very sort of early on. But the nice thing is that they have a pretty tight timeline for when they're actually going to get the report out. So this isn't going to be one of those investigations that just goes on forever. Yeah. And we don't really have an answer. There will be some sort of public
result in this investigation. And the Democratic AG is very focused, on this as well, and has made these announcements about what they're looking into there.
Survivors have been pushing, some of them, for this investigation, including the family of Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who, of course, is Jeffrey Epstein's one of his most prominent accusers here. You talk about the timeline being somewhat, would you call it accelerated or at least contained, right?
Contained, yeah. I think, when they limit themselves to a number of certain, months, then I think that's certainly, there's a little bit of an expedited basis there. But, a deadline can sometimes push you, as we as journalists know. If you have a deadline, you got to face down. You got to produce a product by that point. So this isn't something that could just be stalled forever.
Ryan Riley, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it.
You need this app because...
And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
Was wondering if you also agree that President Trump should answer questions of this committee.
That's for you to decide, but he did know him well, and I once had a brief discussion with him about it.
Thank you. Thanks for the answer. With that, I'm going to go to Mr. Walkinshaw, and we'll go down a series of questions.
I hate this, but because I don't believe I should inject anything. But I do not want to leave the impression, but since there was no follow-up question, the president never, this is 20-something years ago, never said anything to me to make me think he was involved in anything improper with regard to Epstein either.
You a damn lie.
He just said we were friends, and then we had a falling out over a land deal, property deal. That's all.
And here's the thing about that last part. Republicans brought Bill Clinton in to testify during their investigations. That precedent is on the record. Ruiz said it directly. They brought in Bill. You cannot argue against bringing in Donald. They both knew Epstein. They both traveled with him in certain contexts. They are both former presidents. The war did not kill this story. It slowed the searches for a few weeks. But the members of Congress dedicating themselves to this have not changed their position. The New Mexico Commission is still on that ranch. The accountant's transcript exists. The serial numbers for the missing 302s are still in the Maxwell evidence log. Trump thought a war would bury it. Last summer, he thought a shutdown would bury it. The story keeps getting bigger every time he tries.
So, did y'all hear what he said? He said Trump thought a war would bury it. Right? But the war is not over. It just started. That's what we need to be mindful of. So the war is not over. It just started. So with the war just starting, gang, we in trouble. So with that being said, so let's get straight to it, gang. I'm going to show you guys. This is a sad sight to see, right? To me, at least it is. That this type of stuff is going down. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this clip. We ain't going to tarry long. We did very good tonight, y'all. I was able to show y'all piece by piece what we're up against. So now, Band-Aid gang, it gets ugly. It gets bad. We got a missing man out here with technology. Out of here, gone. So I'm about to enlighten y'all with these soldiers real quick. Because now we got soldiers that are deployed. And they're not looking too happy, gang. Band-Aid gang, they're not looking too happy. They're not looking happy at all. And this is a sad thing to see, from people to see. So I want to show y'all what's going on basically here. And I'll let you guys be the judge of what you see when it comes to this situation. How we got our soldiers. I want y'all to see the looks on our soldiers' faces as they get ready to get deployed out here, gang. It is sad. And what Trump has threatened to do. And now with this threat that he has threatened to do, gang, that's definitely not looking good for everybody. So let me go ahead and get this content. I'm lining it up for everybody for you guys to see. Make sure y'all hit that like button before we get ready to get into this commentary, y'all. before we get into that.
Make movies for free.
Drop this
You can create scenes that look like $1 million movie, believe it or not.
Iranian drone strikes hit Dubai. The United States military is moving. 20,000 additional troops. Orders cut, planes fueled, no debate, just motion. A surge that brings the total U.S. presence in the Middle East to over 40,000 personnel across Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Iraq. Inside the hangar, soldiers run final equipment checks. A sergeant moves down the line without a word. Body armor, pouches, straps. Across the floor, a young soldier applies camouflage paint to his face. Not for performance, not for the camera. He does it the same way he always has. Like a ritual, like something that steadies him before the world gets loud. Gears packed. Rucksacks filled, sealed, lifted. Soldiers help each other cinch straps, adjust loads. There's no drama in this room. Just the sound of buckles and the low hum of a bass that hasn't slept. Somewhere in that hangar, a man checks his phone. He doesn't open it. He just holds it for a moment, then slips it into a pocket.
Right now.
Turn.
They sit. Rows of soldiers in full kit, waiting to be called. Eyes forward, mostly quiet.
It's a damn shame. Don't none of them people right there want to sit up and go to war, gang. Don't none of them want to go to war. That's not the same war faces that we've seen in the past. Those are not the same war faces that we've seen in the past. And they have to go because they signed up.
Words here and there, but not the kind you remember. The kind you say because silence
Double
gets
tap
heavy.
the screen, y'all.
The C-17 aren't here yet, so they wait. And waiting for soldiers is its own kind of work.
Going to war, y'all. We going to war, y'all, for Epstein. All this for the Epstein files, Trump. Really?
The first C-17 Globemaster 3 touches down, then a second, then a third. Inbound from the Middle East. One of the most capable strategic transport aircraft ever built. Able to carry 70 tons of cargo to any point on the globe, land on short or unimproved runways, and turn around without a support crew. It has crossed time zones, continents, conflict zones. It arrived here to do it again.
Absolutely, Auntie.
On the tarmac, the ground crew moves in. This is not a rest stop. This is a turnaround. Tires checked, systems inspected, methodical, efficient, unhurried in the way that only people who understand the cost of shortcuts can be. Then comes the moment. The soldiers rise. No announcement, no fanfare. They move across the tarmac in a line. Rifles down, boots on asphalt, heads forward. They board the C-17 quietly. No one looks back. Maybe because looking back feels too much like admitting you're leaving something behind. Up front, 3 women move through their pre-departure checks. Across the U.S. Air Force, female
all this for the Epstein files, y'all.
pilots make up just over 6% of all aviators. Roughly 750 out of 13,000 total pilots.
And this man don't care how much blood he's about to have on his hands.
5%.
A war that we possibly cannot win. A war that we do not get help
Tonight,
from NATO.
Occupy the same cockpit.
NATO do not want to help us, America.
Into the Middle East.
Look at our soldiers right now going to fight a war because of Jeffrey Epstein and human sex trafficking.
Green light. The engines push up.
Get mystery up out of here and don't bring your ass back.
Begins to roll. For the soldiers in the back, there's no window. Just the vibration of the airframe and the knowledge that the ground underneath them is about to change. No return date, no calendar, just the mission.
125.17. 125.17. Autopilot. 230 knots. And we're going to
not sure. Stand by. Let me find out. Level 310.
310. That's it. 327. Who I got? All the way through left seat. Altus.
We don't even have enough artillery to fight this war.
Ooh, we got loose throttles. Yeah, at one point I was like, oops. Gosh. Foot access. And oh yeah.
From the cockpit, the world opens up. Altitude climbs. Below, roads, fields, then nothing but clouds. Inside the aircraft, no one needs to say where they're going. They all know.
We praying for y'all, for your grandson, G Money. Everybody put praying hands in the chat for G Money grandson.
Autopilot. Sorry. Autopilot.
Everybody put praying hands in the chat. Let alone for our soldiers and G Money's grandson. I think he's been deployed.
Globemaster 3 begins its descent.
Thank you, G Money. Y'all put praying hands in the
The hum
chat.
of the engines fills the cabin. Through the small windows, the runway appears first. Then the hangars lined up in the heat. Beyond them, nothing. Just desert, stretching flat.
Everybody put praying hands in the chat.
Starts. Then the wheels touch down.
Epstein. All this for Epstein. Thank you, Lynn.
The ramp opens. Troops step off in silence into desert
Thank you,
heat.
Auntie.
Dust, the tarmac, and a sky that doesn't
Thank
look
you,
like
Antoine.
home. A sergeant points. They move. No briefing needed at the gate. Directions are given quickly, absorbed quietly. They walk toward their quarters. The base is already busy. They're already just part of it. At the rear of the aircraft, a different kind of work begins. Soldiers prepare the ramp, careful, coordinated, to extract something that didn't fly here the way the troops did.
Iran.
An AH-64 Apache attack helicopter, folded, secured, waiting inside the belly of the Globemaster like a fist waiting to open. A single C-17 can carry 2 Apaches in blade fold configuration, rotors folded back along the fuselage, longbow radar stowed. In a surge deployment, a dozen C-17S can put an entire attack battalion on the ground in under 24 hours. What makes it deadly here? The longbow fire control radar atop the rotor. It can track 128 targets simultaneously and prioritize the biggest
But remember,
threats.
we have
Iranian
no help
armor
in this
columns,
war, gang.
fast attack
No
boats in the
NATO,
Strait of
no
Hormuz,
France,
or swarming drones. All while the helicopter stays
no
hidden
Britain.
behind
We don't
terrain.
got the British,
It hunts
French. We
without
have
being
nobody
seen.
in this war. It's just us and Israel. Sad day.
The AH-64 rolls out onto the tarmac, blades still folded, landing gear settling onto foreign soil. One of the most feared attack helicopters ever built. 16 Hellfire missiles, 76 Hydra rockets, a 30mm chain gun that fires 600 rounds per minute. More than 1,280 Apaches are in service globally. Over 1.3 million combat flight hours logged. What the enemy doesn't see is what kills them. The Apache's targeting system can designate targets for other aircraft.
Y'all hit that like button. We got
across
83
multiple
in here. Please
platforms,
double tap the
and
screen.
feed
Hit the like
real-time
button.
video to commanders hundreds of miles away. It is not just a weapon. It is a battlefield network mounted on rotors. In the Gulf, that matters. Iranian fast boats swarm in numbers. Their drones fly low and slow. The Apache was built to kill tanks, but here it adapts because attack helicopters don't survive by doing one thing. They survive by doing everything. Today, it is still, but not for long. Within hours, these blades will spin. Within days, they'll be hunting. Behind them, the C-17 is already moving. Ramp up, engine spooling. The crew doesn't stop. Their mission isn't over. It never really started here. This base was just a delivery point. They turn back toward the runway, nose pointed west. Back to the United States. Back to load up again. More troops, more equipment, more of everything this operation demands.
You see how many troops we deploying over there, y'all? And that's why I wanted to show you this. We are actually in war. And I saw somebody in the chat say that we don't need any help. You really don't know that, because when we go to war, usually we go to war with NATO, excuse me. We go to war with Canada, we go to war with France, we go to war with England, etc. We have a lot of help. We got a lot of people that's in the air. We got British airplanes that are fueling our airplanes in the air. America uses British planes to fuel their airplanes in the air. So we have no help And again, we have no money. We have no money. Gas prices are high, and they're going to go sky high. We do need help. We do need help. It's just us and Israel. Now, I'm saying we're power pack. America, we're dangerous. But we've never really fought a war without NATO. And that's just real. We have never fought a war really without NATO in our era and time. In my uncle's era and time, we always had help. This war, we don't have help. This war was unexpected by the people. This is Donald Trump's work. This is Donald Trump's work. Exactly. The money comes from us, not the rich. Exactly. So continue to watch your gas prices go high. Well, this MFing guy, NATO's not helping. And if you go look at my last video, Donald Trump was dry begging for NATO's help. But now we're in a situation. Yeah, and it's going to be hard to get out of. So if anybody watched this video from the beginning, now you see Donald Trump, Pam Bondi are going to be held accountable for what you're seeing these two people in this airplane are about to go do. Yeah. People's nieces, nephews, cousins, aunties, all of them out there, yeah. And some of them might come back in a body bag for Epstein cover-up. This is a cover-up. We looking at some crazy times right now in America, gang. Some crazy times. And this right here, this is sad. This man should not have been elected again. And he is back in office. That was a cover-up. So, let's hope our soldiers come back soon, real soon. And let's hope that Donald Trump be held accountable. Pam Bondi be held accountable. Kash Patel be held accountable. The DOJ that is in office right now be held accountable for their actions, because people are going to lose their lives for a cover-up of human sex trafficking. Those soldiers are leaving their country because of human sex trafficking accusations. And that's sad. This is not a war over somebody coming over here and in our homeland like 9/11 and knocking down the Twin Towers. And everybody was like, let's go get they ass. They came and killed our relatives on our own turf. This war is different. This is a different war. This war happened right before your eyes. Before you know it, they're over there. There was no meeting with Congress or nothing. Congress didn't pass this. Donald Trump did. This ain't like what happened with the Twin Towers. A lot of us didn't want to go to war about that. But a lot of us wanted vengeance because we lost people in those buildings. But this war, get this MFing out of here. Get him out of here. You smoke crack. You smoke it. You say I'm on it, but you smoke it. Get him up out of here. This real shit we talking about right here, gang. He's one of them people. He's one of them people that just love to see shit, just love drama, just gun-ho for America. Don't know Trump, don't know nothing. But when all this come out, gang, leave him in here for a minute. Don't say nothing out of pocket again. I'm going to get you up out of here, first class flight. We're going to put you on this plane and send your ass over there to that. Why don't you get your ass on that plane? Exactly. It's not like Desert Storm, because people came over here and destroyed those Twin Towers, and some of our relatives was in those Twin Towers. So a lot of us wanted vengeance. But nobody knew about this war. And right now, again, I don't care about what you think America, because we got alien technology, advanced technology, that we can go over here and help win this war. And again, you're only seeing what they showing you on TV. You don't know what they fighting over there. You don't know what they fighting over there. So at the end of the day, gang, we gonna keep on bringing y'all the exclusive, updating my people with what's going on, Band-Aid gang. Saturday G Money, this weekend we definitely covering this Dolph situation. And I've definitely been laying low because I've been gathering information. Thank you, Auntie Esther. Thank you for coming. Make sure you sub up and hit the like button. Make sure you go through some of my content. Make sure you hype those videos, because if anybody look at all of my content that I've been carrying, I am the one that brought Zorro Ranch to everybody. I'm the one. Go look at my videos. Look at the date on them. Zorro Ranch. I'm the one. Band-Aid gang. We've been standing on this shit. And I'm doing this from the truck, gang. And we finna turn up even worse on them soon as I'm off. I will be informing y'all 3 times a day instead of 1 time a day. I'm doing this from an 18-wheeler, gang. And I'm still stepping on them. But no, about to kick y'all in y'all ass. Everything that we have said came to manifest at this point. And I'm not going to let the people that come to my channel, that support my channel down. I'm not going to feed you no lies. I'm just going to give you facts. Everything I have to do I do it at a speedy time. So I'm not able to really get in my element, because I'm not really in my element. I'm a truck driver. But y'all got 2 months and I will be off of this truck. And I will be doing YouTube all type of ways. So make sure you guys double tap that screen. I'm going to keep y'all informed. So now we see what happened to Mad Rush, gang. Mad Rush is gone. Mad Rush, I just exposed Mad Rush. You're not out of here. Donald Trump. You thought you walked and I showed him that, and Mad Rush ain't came back since. I said, damn. Exactly. That's why gas prices are going to go high, and Trump has threatened. Listen, gang, the man is going so crazy, Band-Aid gang. He has threatened. Hold on, I'm going to show y'all that before I get ready to close out. I was going to close out, but I'm going to show y'all this clip because the fool is dumb crazy. So look what he done did. Damn, I was going to leave y'all, but I'll get to rocking shows. I don't want to leave y'all. So, because y'all stay up in here. So let me show y'all what the fool done did. Let me show you what this dumb dude done did, gang. He done went to the extreme. Donald Trump has went to the extreme. Look what he done did. I said, damn. Look what Donald Trump done did. Now this a hit for measures. Now shit finna really get messed up, gang. I can't make this shit up. This is the last clip I'm showing y'all. Y'all be trying to keep me up here. Double tap that screen. Let's get 50 before we ride out.
Introducing the X-Tool Apparel Printer. It's the all-in-one solution for
Let's
your
go.
apparel printing.
Let's go. Now listen to this, gang. I want y'all to listen to this closely. Thank y'all for the likes. We got 50 likes. We'll leave with that. That's good. Let's keep the video in the algorithms. Y'all ain't gonna stop seeing.
Israeli strikes on Iranian oil sites and retaliation targeting U.S. allies sent energy prices surging overnight. President Trump is now warning Iran, threatening to strike its largest gas field if those attacks continue.
Now they want to strike the gas fields. Now you see why China and all you want to fuck with everybody's shit. Everything is coming from there. Now Trump, you in desperate measures because Trump don't have enough people helping him. Listen to this, guy.
Brandt has more from the White House.
Flames and dark smoke filled the sky over Iran's South Pars oil field a day after Israel's strike on the site. President Trump denies knowing Israel would strike there. Iran retaliated by attacking Qatar's liquefied natural gas facility. The administration is warning Iran against continued strikes on Gulf energy infrastructure.
It should not, going forward, target Arab allies, Arab countries, trying to the pain that they created themselves.
At this morning's Pentagon briefing, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff said the U.S. is attacking deeper into Iranian territory.
We're flying further to the east now and penetrating deeper into Iranian airspace to hunt and kill one-way attack garrisons, destroying Iran's ability to
hunt. Ain't y'all hunted enough children?
But Iran continues to target Gulf neighbors, including this drone strike on a Saudi Arabian refinery along the Red Sea.
I think that's the clearest signal of how Iran feels about diplomacy. It doesn't believe in talking to its neighbors. It tries to pressure its neighbors. And what I can say categorically, that's not going to work.
In response to attacks on oil infrastructure and impacts on the Strait of Hormuz, U.S. allies, including the UK, France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and Japan, issued a statement saying they're ready to contribute appropriate efforts to ensure safe passage through the strait.
In response, Iran's foreign minister said any allies helping the U.S. break the blockade of the strait may be complicit in war crimes. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
I said, damn. They finna knock out everything. Don't blame me. All these people, don't blame me. Oh, I'm gonna just go out and pay for gas. I don't care if the gas high. I don't care if the gas high. Trump, my dog. Man, get the hell out of here with that bullshit. Band-Aid gang, we won again. Now, I done showed y'all in this video. Yeah. Donald Trump, yeah. You messed up. Them redacted files, it's going to have Donald Trump assed out. So if you just walked in here, we got 64 in here. Watch the video from the beginning and look what we have exposed because we just did it tonight. And a lot of people, they come in late. So, you know, it is what it is. It's a Band-Aid gang. I want to thank everybody for coming. Make sure y'all pay attention to my community posts. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And when this video is over, go to the comment section and then scroll to your right and you'll see something called hype. Hype the video up and let's keep this video in the algorithms, you guys. Let's keep it going. Let's keep everything going. I'm going to keep on acknowledging y'all. I'm going to keep bringing you the updated news and I'm going to keep doing my commentary and everything is going to get better. Thank you, NTS, for coming in. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, G Money, for holding it down. Diamond Gang, you know you my girl. You coming back. We finna go ahead and get this laptop charged up. Anti-Easter, Turtle, G Money, Erica, everybody that's came in, everybody that's in the bushes, we thank you guys too. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shit. Mr. I ain't said a word, but you know what I'm saying. And I said, damn, hey, it's a must that we get justice. It's hard out here, but we all in it together, y'all. We all in it together. Let's pray for those soldiers that's going over there due to this crazy president that we have in office right now. Let's pray these days go by real fast to get his ass up out of here. And let's get this dude up in prison. We want him under the jail for what he has done to young women, young children, and Epstein as well, and being as stupid to let a man come over here who was an agent and get all of the United States information. See, it's a reason why now y'all go back to when they found them files on Mar-a-Lago, right? Those top secret documents Donald Trump had. Yeah. He was giving that to Epstein, dope fiend. He wasn't doing nothing. He was dope fiending. He was doing nothing but trying to do the cover-up, the Band-Aid gang. And we right here, let's go, Band-Aid gang. Double tap that screen before y'all leave out of here. I'm C-Dub, Mr. I ain't said a word, but you know what I'm saying? And I said, damn. And I'm with the Real Angel. And we beat you, Band-Aid gang. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Pam Bondi, report your ass to the principal's office. You up out of here, Pam Bondi. You gone. You gone. Cash Patel gone. Lex Wexner's gone. Howard Lucknick gone. Yeah. Comer, you on the chopping block. The whole DOJ, y'all out of here. Let's pray that they get them bodies let's pray the bodies, they under the ground on Zorro Ranch. And I got a Zorro Ranch upcoming too. Yeah, but that's not next. We got Dolph coming up, y'all. Long live Dolph, y'all. We got an exclusive coming up this weekend, y'all. Yeah. I had to say the best for last. Shouts out to the Dolph sector. What's up, my boss? Band-Aid gang. Let's go.